What's going on, guys? This is Corey from DeadSec Airsoft, and this is my review of the G&G Predator in Hunter Green.
Citizens of the digital age, welcome.
So, as I said in the update video, this video has been a long time coming. To be honest, I kind of took, not really a break from doing videos, I came home one of the days from Day Skirmish. I went to go, I actually left the footage for a few days. Said I wasn't going to edit it, take a bit of time to think about how I do the video. Came to look at the footage and it was all corrupted, so I said, do you know what, I'm actually not bothering doing videos for a little while. So that's why you probably haven't seen any gameplay videos in the past week or so. So no one's really in the house, I'm kind of here on my own. No one's using the computer, so I have enough time to edit this and all. So I decided, might as well do the videos today. So I'm just going to start and go through the externals of the gun first, and then my own personal look in the furniture I've put in the gun, and then we'll go into the internals, and then I'll give a kind of overview of what I feel about the gun. Now, to make this clear about this video is not a full-on review of why you should buy this. This is more of a review of how I feel I've gotten on with this for the past, I'd say 10 months of using this. I've been using this since the 4th of January 2017. I got this gun for Christmas in 2016. So I have been using it on and off since January. But you probably know I have been using the Mark 18 since July of this year. So we might as well get on to the externals. So I'm just going to start from the back and move on up to the front. And as I said, I'll talk about everything that's on it after that. So we're going to start off with the back. The stock that is on the G&G Predator is more of a kind of, it's an updated version for G&G. G&G have taken the Magpul kind of stock look, where the butt plate that's normally used to be on G&G guns, it's not there anymore. It's actually with a button. It can actually be quite difficult to open. I'll get it open now, guys. Okay, yeah, so it opens up and you can't lose the butt plate because it is stuck onto the stock itself. So on the inside we have I'll get into that actually a little bit more later on. We have the MOSFET, which is connected to the electric trigger unit, and I actually have a 11.1 LiPo connected to it. So this gun is LiPo ready, so we'll explain everything you can't do with this gun when we get into the internals. So as I said, the butt plate never comes off. It just clicks straight back into place. You press the button and it opens up. On the bottom there is some sort of compartment for, I don't know really what. If you want to put anything that's tube-like into it, it's just like a little button. And this thing comes out of the bottom and it just closes up. I don't know what it's for. It has a use, but I haven't found a use myself for it. Moving on, the stock actually has a locking system. So I have to actually click the stock open to move it. I then have to hold the button open and move it into position. So if I find this position is a good position, I just find where I want it, squeeze the thing, the locking mechanism, and that stock cannot move until I break the release. So I'm just going to put it back into my position. So yeah, that's the comfortable position for me. You should always find that your gun should always be able to sit into your shooting hand, and it should form a right angle onto the trigger, because that is the most comfortable position you can have it in. You can manipulate it perfectly for your own body size and your arm's length. So that's just a quick update and a quick kind of thing I wanted to explain about the stock on your rifle. Moving on, the Predator has an ergonomic pistol grip. I actually really like this one because the ones on the original kind of Raiders, they're kind of just flat and you can't really get a grip if you don't have gloves on and your hands are cold. Coming into the winter kind of months now, if your hands are cold, you want to be able to find where you want to grip the gun and your hands aren't going to move, because you always find when it gets cold, like, to be honest, I'm not too sure about the States, but over here in Ireland and Europe, when it gets cold you can barely feel the gun. Like if you're not wearing gloves, you can't find that pistol grip, your hands go completely numb. Yeah, so I really like the pistol grip. It's really comfortable, really helps when it gets into the colder months and you cannot feel your fingers. So yeah, we're going to move on to the ambidextrous parts of this gun. What I really like about G&G, what they've done with this gun, is they've made this gun completely ambidextrous. So if you're a left-handed shooter like myself, the Predator will allow you to comfortably be able to change from safe with your thumb into, I'm just going to check, as you can see, the gun has no mag in it, and I've cleared this before the video. So I have it in semi, I'm going to push it with my thumb, and then going to 3 round burst or full auto. Now before, I would have to take my finger off the trigger with at least my Mark 18. I take my finger off the trigger and push it like this. It can be very uncomfortable. You have to kind of take your finger off the trigger, and that's a few seconds of, oh, I just got shot because I'm trying to change the rate of fire. So yeah, as I stated, it has the ambidextrous trigger switch. So if you are a left-handed shooter like myself, you will find that when you're changing with a non-ambidextrous gun, you have to always take your finger off the trigger, or it's so uncomfortable and it's so kind of time consuming that you do end up getting shot when you're trying to change. Oh, my finger came off the trigger, I've been killed. So yeah, along with the trigger switch, it also has an ambidextrous mag release. So as I stated before, as being a left-handed shooter, you wanted to change your mag, you have to take your hand off the gun, off the support bit. So the gun is flimsy, I've no control over. I'd have to take my hand, press the magazine release and take the mag out. While now there is a mag release button just here, so I can do as any right-handed shooter can, take it in, take the mag out and put another one in. I don't want to put any of my mags in now because I know they're filled and I'm not going to risk that because I don't want to shatter the window that's behind me, in front of me, sorry. So moving on, the Predator has a really I really like this rail system. The rail has a really kind of aggressive kind of look to the front of it. As Jonathan from Airsoftology has said before in his review, it actually really does look like a dragon or snake. And I also followed up what he said, and I put a suppressor onto it because, so yeah, as I said, like him, I actually think it really does look like it's a snake or a dragon biting around the suppressor. So it is a KeyMod rail system only on the sides and underneath. It does not have 45-degree angle mounts. That's the only problem I have with the rail. I would have really liked if I had mounts on the 45-degree angle bit of the rail, because that would have really helped by having an angled torque onto your gun, which I would have really preferred. The G&G Predator comes up with flip up sights on the front and the back. These are actually very, very easy to see. They're quite similar to an MP7's style of iron sights, with the circular one near the back and then the fork at the front. So really like them ones. The G&G Predator, at least the model I have, is full metal except for the pistol grip and the stock. The entire upper and lower receiver and the rail is metal. So as stock with any M4 style rifle, it comes with the unjamming button near the back. For majority of real firearms, it really only kind of replicates that if there is a bullet stuck in the chamber, press the button and it releases it. Yeah, so from there on, pretty much it just follows the same routine of a normal kind of M4 style rifle. It has the standard kind of receiver, you have your rail, you have everything, and it's quite a comfortable gun. I really find that with the stock, you can change position and it locks, it won't move, it's not on a nut kind of mechanism. The rail, if you didn't even want to have a grip, you can really just get an entire seat clamp if you wanted to. You can just, there's a lot of ways of holding it which are comfortable any way you want to hold it. So you're not kind of limited to wanting to need to put a grip onto it or trying to hold it here. Everywhere it's comfortable. You want to hold it up here, hold it here, wherever you want it. So that's kind of it for the externals that are stock with the gun. I'm going to move on to my personal externals. So we're going to start off with my optic. I originally had a T1 on top, an aim point. That actually, the glass at the front got cracked. So until I can change the glass or get a cover for it, I won't be using it. This is just a standard EOTech I just had lying around from my old Mark 18 one before it had been upgraded. So yeah, it's just simple, like you turn them on. And yeah, it's quite a good sight. It's not too special about it. It works, that's all you need it for. It works in normal light, so you do find with EOTechs you get that kind of ghosting on the reticle when you're outside when it's bright, because whatever way the light enters into it, you can't really see it, so that can cause a few problems. But as I found, this doesn't really have that problem. You can see this quite clearly in a very lit area, and it's quite strong in low light areas. You can knock it down very low so you don't give away your position, or you want to put it really high so you're in bright conditions. So all in all, very good optic. Moving up, I have a PEC box on the top rail. This is functional. The batteries are actually dead in it because I actually haven't used this gun in I'd say about 3 months. As I've said, been using the Mark 18, really loving that gun, so I've been giving this one a good little rest. So the batteries have gone dead over time, but when the batteries were in it, it did have a functioning torch at the front with an IR clip, which I actually took off because I don't have night vision, I don't need that. And then there is a laser at the front, so you can have it on torch, which if you double tap the pressure switch, you can turn it onto full, and if you double tap it, you can turn it off. The other setting is just flash, you can keep pressing it and just keep flashing it. The next one would just be just the laser itself, if it was on, and then the last one would be the torch and the laser all at the exact same time. So yeah, I really liked that PEC box when I was using it, and I would definitely recommend it to people. For the way the G&G Predator shoots, if you actually do put a suppressor with a bit of foam on the inside of it, it can actually quiet the gun down. If you haven't before, I recommend you watch C-Monkey's videos. He actually has a G&G Predator himself, but he just has a flash hider on the front of his, and you can actually hear the difference in his one and my one. His one has a much more louder cracking sound, while my one is a much more dull. If you can hear, I don't know if you can, but it kind of dips down and loses its sound immediately when it shoots, where if I had the suppressor off, the sound would keep echoing out and it'd crack off the sides. It gives a lot more of a cracking sound when there's no suppressor on it. On the bottom, I have a standard G&G Keymods grip. Nothing too special. I would use this more as a hand stopper, so I just put my hand here and I have my pressure switch here, so I can just easily just turn the torch on, turn it off, or I can easily just reach the pressure switch. Also underneath, I just have another Keymod sling mount. This is just for when I want to just have my gun slinged, and not much I can talk about that, so that's just the sling mounts. So that's all I can really say for my personal externals. So now I'm going to go into the internals and what they're about. So I'm just going to quickly go over the internals. To be honest, I'm not really too knowledgeable on internals. That's not really my thing. I just know how the entire guns work. I know each of the parts, but I've never really kind of done my own internal work on my gun. I give it up to a gun tech because I know they know what they're doing and they're not going to break my gun, hopefully. I know if I was to try to take this apart, I would most likely break it. So at the back, as I said at the start of the video, we have the MOSFET. So I'm going to get this open, I'll get back to you. So as I said in the start of the video, you have the buttstock at the back. I have opened this up just now because it can be difficult to open. You have to it's a really weird setup. You have to press the button at the top, and it's quite a sticky button and it's quite hard to press down. So on the inside we have the MOSFET, which I will take out now. So I have my standard 11.1 LiPo. I will take that out. So I'm just going to put the LiPo down. So as you can see in the inside, if I can get it out, we have the MOSFET. So this is G&G's new MOSFET, which I believe is stock in all of their guns now, up from but I believe the Predator and this kind of stage of guns they've made, where the first ones they're going to continue to put the MOSFET into. So it's really good for the gun. It really gives the strong kind of trigger response you have with the gun. So if you're unaware of what a MOSFET does, it kind of regulates the power from your battery. So it only gives the gun just enough power to cycle the gun, and it also helps to keep the trigger response really nice and clean. So I'm just going to put this back in and we're just going to continue on. So the MOSFET runs up to the trigger, which is here. Now I took the battery out, so you're not going to hear it. There's G&G's ETU electronic trigger unit in here. This is also what helps with the snappy kind of trigger response you have on the gun. Quite standard. It's just here. I believe it's here, or it's here, just along the trigger. So yeah. Okay guys, as far as I am aware, this has G&G's new version 2 gearbox. Just to go over this, it's an updated gearbox. It has a lot of the new features which they have been implementing over time into their guns onto one gearbox, which is coming out with pretty much all their new guns. Yeah, so sadly enough, this actually doesn't have G&G's new hop-up wheel, which actually I was quite disappointed with. I really would have liked to seen that. So if you can see in there, it has the standard, just the dial. It doesn't have the wheel one, which really helps with dialing in your hop-up really precisely. So guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually not too sure what the inner barrel length is or the outer barrel length is. So what I can say is it does have G&G's IFRIT motor. This, along with the electronic trigger unit and the MOSFET, gives it its excellent trigger response, which you definitely want in a gun. Another feature with the MOSFET and the electronic trigger unit, it does allow you to program the gun into 3-round bursts. So if you put it on the semi-auto and you held it for 10 seconds, so you went 1, 2, 3, and so on, you could then program it, so instead of it being full auto, it would be in 3-round bursts. What I will say about the gun is one of the cons of it. If you are planning on trying to use a 9.6 with this gun, the battery is not powerful enough to power the whole gun. So you will get the battery and the whole gun will cut out when you start trying to shoot fast with a 9.6 battery. So you could be there out in the field, shoot, and the gun will stop working, and you'll need to get a higher powered battery such as a LiPo to kick it back into gear. So that is a con with it. Another one I will say is that a lot of people have said to me that they actually have burnt out the motor, and they have broken some of the gears inside the gun because they have put it onto full auto. It is actually quite dangerous somehow on this gun if you have an 11.1 LiPo to put it on the full auto, because you can break the gun very easily. That's just some of the cons of it. So yeah, the barrel length is about 12 inches. I'm not too sure. As I said, the hopper wheel kind of disappoints me. It's just standard gearbox. To be honest, it's standard parts and the new kind of updated pieces that G&G have put into their guns quite slowly. So this gun would be, I'd say, G&G's work of about 2 years of adding new pieces into their new guns. So they seem, the hop-up wheel I think was put into some of the older guns, and then other bits were updated. So it pretty much with all the new guns, all the parts are upgraded. So that's pretty much all I can say for the internals. As I said in the start of the video, I apologise. I'm not too knowledgeable on internals or the length of the barrel and stuff like that. I'm not too sure if that, I'd say that wouldn't interest a lot of people, and that's not going to be the worry of many people. You just want to hear, as I'm going to get into now, my verdict on how I feel I've gotten on with this gun for the past 10 months. So, what I can say about this gun is this gun shoots flawlessly. I have, as I said, used this gun from the 4th of January 2017 up until I'd say halfway through July, probably the 15th of July, around then. So yeah, I would have used this every second week. So this got its good bit of gaming. I've seen it in full action. I have to say I really like the gun. All I can say about when you are firing the gun. So guys, I decided to put the battery back in just so I can give a better explanation of it. I find when I shoot the gun, you can probably hear it in some of the videos if you watch them back. The gun sounds like, if you listen carefully, it sounds like you can just hear the spring just hitting against the end of the piston, which, to be honest, I don't really, it's not a very nice sound, I don't find. So if you can just hear it at the end of the spring hitting. It's not a very satisfying sound to hear, so I will say I probably have something loose or something's gone a bit worn in the gun from the overuse, but that's just something I will say about it. As I said, the gun is a very comfortable length. It's not overly long like the full length LVOA. Very stock, and to be honest, it's a brilliant gun. So that's all I can really say about it is. And to be honest, I'd say that's really the end of the review. If you like this review and you like this style of video, please drop it down in the comments and tell me. And don't forget to like this video, and if you're new, subscribe. But that's pretty much all I can say about the G&G Predator. As I said, I hope the video was informative and it was good. This is my first time doing an overview of a gun. It's quite new to me, and I'm not going to say nerve-wracking, but it was quite a bit anxious. I wasn't too sure of how I was meant to do this video. It's probably a bit too long, but I will practice on doing these videos, I promise. So, as I said, that's all I can really say. Really hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, guys, talk to you later.
DedSec will give you the truth. Do what you will.